Walk into a modern office and you will see a team that is maxed out. Everyone is typing, calendars are triple booked, and new projects kick off every day. On paper, this looks like peak efficiency, but the facade hides a breakdown in flow. Developers start 3 new tickets because they are blocked on their first one. Managers jump between 6 status meetings, while reviewers sink under a backlog of approval requests. This environment confuses motion with progress. Starting a task feels productive, but with everyone stretched thin, crossing the finish line becomes rare. Calendar weeks pass for work that only requires a few hours of actual labor. Operating a team at 100% capacity creates a fragile system with a zero margin for error. It functions as a ticking time bomb. In a factory, a traffic jam is physical. If a machine breaks down, a literal pile of metal bumpers stacks up on the concrete floor. The resulting obstruction is impossible to ignore. Office work is invisible. It lives in Slack threads, email inboxes, and code repositories. Because you cannot trip over a pile of unread PDFs, the true volume of the backlog remains hidden. This gap is called flow efficiency. It is the ratio of time a task spends being actively worked on versus the time it spends sitting around waiting for someone else. In most offices, the wait time accounts for nearly the entire life of the project. Without a physical pileup to look at, managers keep shoving more projects into the system. This clogs the workflow and stops productivity entirely. These delays have nothing to do with a lack of effort. They are governed by the same mathematical laws that dictate how water moves through a pipe. A century ago, telephone companies used this math to calculate how many operators they needed to prevent callers from hitting a busy signal. This is Little's Law. It connects 3 elements: work coming in, work going out, and the mass of half-finished work currently clogging the center of the system. When work lands on a desk faster than it can be finished, an invisible waiting line, a queue, forms. Ignoring Little's Law guarantees systemic delays across every project. The math is unbreakable. This behaves exactly like a phantom traffic jam on a highway. There is no accident and no construction, yet the road grinds to a halt. When there is zero slack, meaning no space between the cars, one driver taps their brakes. The person behind them taps harder, and a wave of stopping ripples backward until the highway becomes a parking lot. No single driver caused this. The gridlock happened because the system was crammed to 100% capacity with no room to move. When projects fall behind, many managers try to make their fastest teams work even harder to look productive. This is local optimization, investing resources to speed up a step that isn't the primary bottleneck. If you push an early-stage team to go faster, the overall project speed doesn't change. The pile simply grows at the bottleneck. Every day a ticket sits in that pile, the company loses money. This is the cost of delay, a measure of the financial impact of letting valuable work wait. Fixing the wrong problem burns cash while providing the illusion of hard work. In post-war Japan, Toyota was too broke to afford giant warehouses. They couldn't hide mistakes or store excess parts. Toyota engineers visited an American supermarket and watched a stock boy replace a box of cereal only after a customer actually bought one. This inspired a pull system. Instead of bosses shoving work onto full desks, workers pull a new task only have the actual capacity to finish it. To manage this, we use WIP limits, work in progress limits. This is a strict cap on how many items can be in motion at any given time. Enforcing these limits acts like a red light at a highway on-ramp. It stops the traffic jam before the first driver taps their brakes. Many companies adopt cargo cult Kanban. They buy huge whiteboards and cover them in sticky notes, but they refuse to limit the number of active tasks. A board without limits offers a high-resolution snapshot of a team in the process of drowning. A functional board acts like a mechanic's dashboard. When a column hits its limit and turns glowing red, it exposes the bottleneck. The issue becomes a shared problem that the whole company must acknowledge. You cannot increase your team's typing speed or their IQ. The only knob you have the power to turn is the volume of work you let through the front door. Corporate culture applauds starting things, but finishing them is what makes money. To get results, you must stop starting and start finishing.